got it.
So pretty.
It's an early start to the day in Leh. We head to the Air Force Station, passing landmarks like the Hall of Fame in Ladakh's capital. It promises to be a busy time. The Indian Air Force's heavy lifters have already landed from another base. Part of the load they flew in, a T-90 Bhishma tank. It is being sent to an Indian Army Northern Command forward location somewhere along the line of actual control with China. Post the deadly 2020 Galwan clashes and China's aggression, there has been a consistent force upgradation. In 2024, that is into its fourth winter. Fighter jets are already practicing overshoots on the runway. We scout 2 locations to film, but with all the activity, have our hands full, even with a little help from our hosts. Some of the station's MiG-29s start landing. Others continue their overshoots. The indigenously developed Advanced Light Helicopter, ALH Dhruv, and the Rudra can also be seen in the distance. It's soon two-way traffic, with the strategic heavy lift transport aircraft taking off back to their home base. First, it's the American C-17s. Their flashing lights force our camera out of focus for a fraction of a second. Then a Russian Ilyushin-76 takes off.
Our transport aircraft, C-17s, IL-76, C-130, AN-32 aircraft, daily and routinely airlift troops, ration, ammunition, and military equipment, and also civilian population of Ladakh into the region.
The base, like many of the Indian Air Forces, has a dual role. An Air India civil flight lands, even as the IAF's workhorse AN-32 makes its exit. The Siachen Monastery, a 11th century Gompa, is in the backdrop of the runway. Its name means exemplary, and a MiG-29 also makes an ideal landing. Ladakh, the land of high mountain passes, is also the land of monasteries. And a day earlier, having been advised 24 hours of acclimatization, despite driving on the Darcha Padam Nimu Leh road over 2 days, we couldn't miss the opportunity to visit the Thiksay Monastery. It's about 20 kilometers from Leh. Lama Gyatse is waiting for us and greets us warmly on the approach to the Gompa. The narrow road leading to it captured surreally on camera. On a turn, the monastery appears, peeping out, even while towering majestically above a hill bathed in sunlight. An example of Ladakhi architecture, Gyatse explains it is a smaller version of the Potala Palace in Lhasa, Tibet. The monastery belongs to the Gelugpa or the Yellow Hat order. Climbing a series of stairs, turning past weathered wooden doors, along the shadow of an old-style lamppost on the wall, the monastery stands out in its flaming red, ochre and white color. The buildings are arranged in ascending order of importance, from the living quarters at the foot of the hill to the top and the potang, the official residence of the chief lama. Once on the roof, we have a bird's eye view of the immediate Indus Valley among clumps of needle-like trees that have shed their leaves in winter. Gyatse engages us in a mystical conversation about his learnings as a monk. He then takes us to one of the main points of interest, the Maitreya temple, erected to commemorate the visit of the 14th Dalai Lama to this monastery in 1970. In the inner sanctum is a mesmerizing 49-foot-high statue of Maitreya Buddha, the largest in Ladakh. It took 4 years to complete. The statue encompasses 2 stories of the building. The Buddha is portrayed sitting in the lotus position. The seat of the Dalai Lama here has a life-size cutout of him placed on it next to the seat of the chief lama. We leave the monastery with the sun shining like a diamond above it to head to the library and wellness center while we discuss what a monk's life is with Gyatse.
The most importantly, you have to study about Buddha Dhammas.
Yeah. The Dalai Lama did the groundbreaking in 2018. The library has old manuscripts that monks smuggled out of China-occupied Tibet to protect the wisdom in them and Tibetan religious culture. He also shows us exquisite Tibetan tankas, again brought out to preserve them from the Chinese regime. Broadly speaking, they are divided into 2 categories, those that are painted and those made of silk, either by applique or embroidery. The minute work in them sometimes can only be seen through a magnifying glass or a camera's zoom lens. With light fading fast, we drive to and make a whistle stop at the Shanti Stupa. At a height of 13,999 feet, it is visible from all over Leh city. The white domed stupa was built in 1991 by Japanese Buddhist bhikshu Gyomu Nakamura. It holds the relics of the Buddha at its base, enshrined by the 14th Dalai Lama himself. It's built on 2 levels. Stairs lead to the first level where a Dharma Chakra with 2 deer on each side features a central image of Buddha in golden color sitting on a platform turning the Dharma Chakra wheel. The second level depicts the birth of Buddha, the defeating of devils in meditation, and his death, along with many small images of a meditating Buddha, all in vibrant colors. Sunrise and sunset have the best views. That's perfectly exemplified as twilight turns to night. A sliver of the moon is visible as Leh's twinkling lights are turned on in a bowl of the valley, shielded by the silhouetted mountain ranges. From Shanti to Shakti, as India's defense preparedness has been strengthened post Galwan and China's salami-slicing aggressiveness. PLAAF air bases are at altitudes over 12,000 feet, which impose serious limitations on the weapons load and fuel that aircraft can carry. India has airfields, advanced landing grounds, and helipads to deal with both the China and Pakistan fronts. The conversion of Nyoma from an ALG to a full-fledged airfield at 13,700 feet will also plug a critical gap between Leh and the LAC. It's just about 50 kilometers from the line of actual control. Apart from high-altitude locations near the LAC, the IAF can also use its bases in the plains with full fuel and weapon loads.
The uncertain geopolitical situation the world over has reaffirmed the need for India to have a strong military, asserting the need for Indian Air Force to project its might in the region. Towards that, Indian Air Force Station Leh plays a very significant role in projecting IAF's might in the region and also in defending the rugged mountains of Ladakh. Since the confrontation that we last had with our northern adversaries, Indian Air Force operational capability in the region has enhanced tremendously. This we have achieved by continuously monitoring the situation all along the line of actual control. We have deployed our fighter aircraft on operational readiness platform.
The IAF's frontline fighters are all operational in this theatre. At the Air Force Station Leh, we meet Squadron Leader Prashant, part of the MiG-29 squadron that flies from here.
The upgraded platform is versatile, multi-role fighter platform. This aircraft can fire long-range air-to-air missiles. It can fire long-range air-to-ground missiles. This has been upgraded with higher fuel capacity. It has got glass cockpit, modern avionics, and air-to-air refueling. It is as pure joy as flying in the erstwhile MiG-29. However, it's even more easier right now. MiG-29s have been operating in this Ladakh area since a long time. We have been one of the first fighter platforms to land in Leh. Operationalize Leh as a fighter airfield. We have operationalized Thois, and after being upgraded, we have operationalized Leh and Thois by night also. It gives us a sense of huge responsibility. At the same time, this has made us into the first responders in this region at any point of time, and this will again ensure that we are ready for everything.
While we're filming, the Air Force Station Leh also has some IAF visitors from a base in the region, the French Rafales.
We are conducting dedicated intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions all around. And we are also deploying our long-range radars and modern generation surface-to-air weapons so that we have a gap-free coverage in this region.
One example of that air defense, the Rohini, developed by the DRDO. It's a 3D medium-range mobile surveillance radar for the IAF. It can detect and track aerial targets even under a hostile electromagnetic warfare operational environment. The radar is mounted on a modified Tatra heavy truck and supported by a mobile auxiliary power unit. Another example of indigenously developed technology, the Akash Air Force Launcher. It's a multi-technology weapon launch platform for air defense missiles jointly developed by Tata Advanced Systems with DRDO. According to TAS, it's a mobile launcher system capable of transporting and launching up to 3 Akash medium-range surface or air missiles in single or salvo mode. It is a fully ruggedized all-weather day and night system capable of operating in harsh environmental and terrain conditions. Talking about capabilities to operate in harsh environmental and terrain conditions, we meet up with the women, men and machines of the 114 helicopter unit. It is said that one has to be slightly mad or serving in the 114 HU to take to the skies with single-engine helicopters over the Siachen Glacier. But that's what they do day in and day out.
114 helicopter unit is known as the Siachen Pioneers. And this unit is one of the oldest units of the Indian Air Force. It was raised way back in 1964 on 1st April at Jammu. Thereafter, this unit was soon baptized by fire in the 1965 operations and moved to Srinagar subsequently, where it stayed till about 1975 and moved back to Jammu. And finally, since April 1987, the unit has been here in Leh. And this unit is one of the most decorated units of the Indian Air Force by virtue of the operations that it undertakes, both in Ladakh as well as in Siachen Glacier. We have over 67 presidential awards, including more than 47 gallantry awards, as well as we got the position in the Limca Book of Records for one of the highest landings at 25,150 feet at a place called Saser Kangadi. And we are the sole unit which forms the lifeline, especially during winters, for both the civilian population of eastern Ladakh, southern Ladakh, as well as for the troops deployed in the Siachen Glacier. And that is why our motto is, we do the difficult as routine, the impossible may take a bit longer.
Today we get to witness 2 sorties that the Cheetals make.
The aircraft has evolved over the period of time since 1964. The unit started off with the Cheetals, moving on to the Cheetals, which was specifically designed for far more specific high altitude operations. And since 2009, we've been employing the Cheetal helicopter. So the Cheetal helicopter is a re-engined Cheetah. It is manufactured by our very own HL, and it provides a far greater fuel efficiency, far more power, far more endurance in terms of flying times available, and a far safer engine with full digital control.
As you know, this helicopter being a single engine helicopter, we are always operating this helicopter at the edge of its flying envelope. No other air force in the entire world can claim to do such kind of feat which we are doing day in and day out.
See, the reduced level of oxygen makes it extremely difficult for us to operate at this altitude, and it is a testament to the bravery, to the willpower, to the human endurance of the unit personnel. In fact, landing at these altitudes, extreme temperatures coupled with winds, turbulence, is a testament of the bravery of the aviators of the unit.
This allows us to operate well above 18,000 feet, and this aircraft is the only aircraft which can carry out landed operations at the matchbox size helipads which are there in the glacier, which are just enough to fit the skids of the helicopter.
In winters, in fact, the temperatures here go down as low as -40 degrees Celsius. And this being an unpressurized cockpit, you can understand the temperature outside is same as the temperature inside.
So the major task that the unit undertakes is the air maintenance operations of the Siachen Glacier as a part of Operation Meghdut, which we've been doing since the inception of the operation in the year of 1984. We also undertake casualty evacuation missions, not just for the Indian nationals, but also for the foreign nationals in the entire AOR. And as a part of the regular operations, we continue to take military operations as well as body recommissions in this entire AOR. With over more than 7,200 lives that we have already saved so far, we continue to be a beacon of hope, not just for the local populations, but as well as for the international people who visit this AOR.
While all the Cheetals were prepping and flying, the Sukhois and MiG-29s continue their landings and overshoot practice runs.
Flying in Ladakh region has always been a pure joy. Its adrenaline rush is non-comparable to anything. Flying in this mountain tops, snow-clad mountain tops, high passes, deep valleys. Same time, flying in this area gives you a sense of responsibility towards the nation, guarding this very strategic asset.
Another strategic asset is the 114HU. So what about the women and men behind the 114's machines?
I must say that the technicians posted here are the most motivated lot of technicians, and they are led by highly qualified and professional engineering officers. And together the team, they have this motive to keep this machine highly serviceable and available for flying commitments. On an average, my men, they wake up daily at 3 o'clock because the takeoffs are at sunrise, and to meet up that requirement, they wake up at 3 o'clock, they come to the hangar and provide the aircraft for the sunrise takeoffs.
As the day ends, we witness the Foreign Object Removal or FOR parade to clean up the tarmac and runway from any dangerous articles for the station's aircraft. The Cheetals are being towed and taken into their hangars. And even as the day turns to night, we capture this gorgeous shot of the moon and a chopper over a silhouetted mountain. A perfect end to a perfect day.